Hey, what's up, everybody? Today we're looking at Parasite Rex, Inside the Bizarre World of Nature's Most Dangerous Creatures by Carl Zimmer. Carl Zimmer is a science writer slash journalist who specializes in genes and evolution and parasites. You may remember Carl Zimmer from such popular science books as Life's Edge and She Has Her Mother's Laugh. First thing I want to say is that this book review goes out to a YouTube channel called Insect Spotlight Project. The guy who runs the channel is really great. He has a lot of formal training in ecology and entomology, and he makes informative videos on insects. His presentation and delivery style is actually similar to that last book I read, Innumerable Insects by Michael Engel. How his videos are organized by the insect orders. His videos are really excellent, and he's the one who recommended Parasite Rex to me. Definitely check out Insect Spotlight Project if you're interested in insects, especially if you want to learn about specific orders of insects. So, Parasite Rex. People tend to get uncomfortable when you talk about parasites. They're just a very unpleasant reality of life, but I never really appreciated just what a huge role they play for life here. Book starts out going over the history of our understanding of what parasites are and where they came from, and how we slowly began to understand and appreciate how they, just like other animals, are their own branch of an evolutionary tree. And it's really incredible how, just like other animals, they've adapted to living out certain niches, which can get very specific. Maybe parasitizing a certain crab, for instance, or even occupying a specific set of anatomies within their hosts. There's a section in the book on their fascinating life cycles. It's pretty crazy how some have evolved to be born in one host and cycles through 2 or 3 specific hosts before completing their life cycle. I thought it was super interesting how Zimmer talks about how scientists learned how some of these life cycles work. It must have been mind-blowing to discover these things for the first time. And again, some of these are pretty outrageous. Just think of a tiny worm making its way through various organs in your body. There's a section of the book talking about the different ways that parasites are able to modify their host bodies in order to serve their own needs, maybe through maybe for getting food, or altering the host behavior to try to bring about that next transition in their life cycle, which often means getting eaten. Aren't you glad that as a human you don't have to worry about how you're going to get yourself eaten? And then there's the way that these parasites can alter their host behavior. It really makes you think about concepts like free will, when you know that the actions you take could have been brought about because of internal parasites producing chemicals inside your blood. They can also manipulate your immune system the same way, even living inside of tiny cells in your body. Parasites can also play important roles in how they and their host species may evolve. Very much like different kinds of symbiosis in nature, only one of them is parasitizing the other. But when you think about it, all life forms have to employ some form of parasitism, right? It's just like when we eat an animal, we kill it first. That's the big difference. But we're still sustaining ourselves at their expense, which is a paraphrasing of the definition of parasite. But it's stated in the book that most organisms are parasites. This is one of those books that will make you think about the subject in a different way, in a way that you may not have appreciated before reading it. Some of these creatures really aren't so different from their free-living relatives. I think what impresses me the most are the various life cycles that you'll read about in this book. It seems strange because we humans don't have to worry about moving from one host to another, but to read about it just makes me think, yes, it's disgusting, but it's also pretty fascinating. This book also has a really cool story about how scientists figured out a way to use a parasite to crash a population for some agricultural pests. It's an incredibly powerful tool that we have at our disposal, but they do tend to have unpredictable consequences. So we've figured out that we can't always just simply try to eradicate the pest, because it turns out they could be an important component in the ecological balance. So then the conversation shifts to, how do we live with these things? But parasites are responsible for a lot of death and suffering and loss. The number one killer is Plasmodium, the protozoan that's transmitted by mosquitoes and causes malaria. This book will make you grateful if you live far away from the equator in a place with treated water, because there are a lot of people for whom these parasites are a less avoidable reality. Okay, that's it for this one, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you think you can stomach reading about parasites, check out Parasite Rex by Carl Zimmer.